All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am delighted to once again be part of celebrating our annual Bike Week happening here in Madison and in fact, all across Wisconsin. This is a great opportunity for our community to build the habit of biking, whether that's to work or school or just out to run errands or to have a night on the town or just to be outside and enjoy being on a bike in the beautiful Madison summer. Bike Week is possible because of a fantastic collaboration between Madison Bikes, the City of Madison, and a number of different local businesses and civic organizations. And so I want to thank the whole team that helps to make Bike Week such a successful event every year. Madison is consistently recognized as one of the most bike-friendly cities in the United States, and in fact is one of 5 cities that is recognized as a platinum bicycle community by the League of American Bicyclists. This is a pretty impressive distinction to be one of 5 in the whole country. And that's in part because we currently have 85 miles of off-street paths and protected bikeways, and more than 157 miles of bike lanes and bike boulevards. Every year, we add to this network. We have projects big and small that help to improve bike connections for people of all ages and abilities. We've done a number over the past year. We have a number that we are working on this year. And it's not just on-street facilities. We also look to improve our ability to do recreational biking. And so we have a couple of single tracks that we've put into parks that are really focused on getting young people out to enjoy biking in our parks. And it's, if you've seen the one that we have, it's just really fantastic to see the kids out there on their bikes. And so we're going to be putting in a single track at Sycamore Park, which is the first one on the east side, and I'm very excited about that. We also have a great Safe Routes to Schools collaboration with our school district, and we're very excited to make it safer for kids to bike to school and walk, by the way, but to bike to school and make sure that they have the ability to be active in the course of their day. I also want to just briefly mention our Vision Zero work because that is important for the safety of biking in the city of Madison, and we've been investing in a number of different efforts that help make it safer for everyone to bike in Madison. So that might be improving crossings at shared use paths or putting in the rapid flashing beacons that both pedestrians and bicyclists can use, or the work that we've done through our complete Green Streets Guide, so that from the beginning, when we are constructing infrastructure, we are thinking about all users and we are balancing the needs of all uses in each and every street. It doesn't mean that each street is going to look exactly the same, but it does mean that we're thinking about all of the factors from the get-go, and I think that's really important. I also want to mention our Safe Streets Madison program, which focuses our resources on locations that have been identified as most critical in terms of needing safety improvements. And there's a number of different projects there that will benefit the bicycling community, including improvements to bike lanes, sidewalks, and overall road design. So expect much more over the course of the next year to improve our bicycling infrastructure here in the city of Madison. Making Madison a city where it's safe to ride your bicycle and easy to reach jobs, schools, and other destinations, or just get out for some exercise, is vital to the long-term success of our city. We have to continue to make sure that our city's future will be accessible, safe, and sustainable. And today we recognize and celebrate the role that the bicycle can play in making that future happen. I want to thank again Madison Bikes for organizing Bike Week and making sure that this event continues to thrive for all types of cyclists. And I want to thank the countless volunteers that make Bike Week possible. It used to be that we had a one-day bike to work event, and that over 20 years ago. And we have grown it to a week-long celebration, which is really impressive and speaks to the strength of the biking community here in Madison. And of course, I want to thank B-Cycle for their support and partnership. It's been great to work with them. And as you see, we have some B-Cycles here today that we'll be riding. And then last but not least, I would like to call up the next speaker, which is Robbie Weber from Madison Bikes, and present to her the proclamation declaring Bike Week here in the city of Madison. Robbie?
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor Rhodes Conway. It's always exciting to have Bike Week come around, and especially to have good weather when rain was predicted. This week, as the mayor mentioned, we have not only do we have a week of activities, we have over 80 events all across the city. So instead of just being a few commuter stations where you can pick up coffee and donuts in the downtown, we have activities all over the city, and I urge you to look at our calendar, and I'm sure you will find something in your neighborhood or that fits your type of biking or something you might be interested in. Maybe you'd like to find out about the pump track or the cargo bikes. We have events on those, or learning to ride if you're an adult and you've never learned to ride. And we couldn't do this without the support of our community volunteers and our community businesses and groups. Madison Bikes does not put on all these events ourselves. We don't organize them. We just facilitate it for other groups, and then we have our calendar and we promote it. So I want to thank everybody who's helped us out with that. Sometimes people call me from around the country and they say, well, what makes Madison such a great place to bike, or how did you get here? And I used to say, well, we have this weird geography where it's really hard to get into downtown, and so it's hard to drive, and so walking and biking and taking transit kind of makes sense. And we have rail lines that used to come into downtown that we could turn into paths. But that's not the only reason. We have, especially now, supportive staff and elected officials who actually bike themselves. There is no replacement for experiencing what it's like to get around by bike in order to make those decisions and support more biking for more people. When I travel around the city and I see families with kids, either the kids trailing along on their own bikes or cargo bikes with kids on the back, and I know those parents are going to school, or the kids are going to soccer practice, or they're going shopping or going to the library, and they're just using the bike to get around. This makes me so happy because it's grown over the years. And that wouldn't be possible without the support of all of our businesses, all of our elected officials, all of our city staff. But we still have a long way to go. Our downtown is a great place to bike. It's really easy to get around by bike here. But we've got vast swaths of the city that were really not built for biking. They were built to drive, and we still see places where people come to me and they say, I don't feel comfortable biking. There's this big road that's hard to cross. And just earlier in March, Joseph Solomon, who was leaving his job at Hy-Vee on the east side, was killed out on Lean Road. This is an area that's big roads, big fast roads, and we need to work on those areas too, because people going to work, people going to school, families, everyone going shopping need to feel like it's comfortable and easy to bike. Biking is inexpensive, it's healthy, it's fast in many cases. It's faster than driving a car, it's easier to park. So it's an entryway for people who may not have a lot of money and just need to get to their jobs. But we need to make that safe as well. And I see visitors on B-cycles. That makes me happy too, because it means that they can easily find a way to get to the places they want to go and just be out there by bike. So biking is not just a recreational opportunity, although we have wonderful recreational opportunities. It's a way of life. It's a way for people to get around. And it's so important for the future of Madison as we grow, because we need to have a mix of transportation methods all over the entire city. So I urge people to get out, find a activity in your neighborhood, celebrate Bike Week, drag out some of your friends who don't bike yet, and just enjoy all the activities that are this week, and maybe you'll find a new way to bike or a new place to bike. So thank you to the city staff and the mayor and all of our sponsors. Thanks.
Thank you, Robbie. And then our last but certainly not least speaker is Director of Traffic Engineering, Yang Tao, and he is one of those staff that bikes on a regular basis. Yang?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day to start the week. Even though I think we all have to figure out how to stay dry this afternoon, though. So I want to quickly thank Mayor Satya for kicking off the week for us. And I want to thank Robbie and Madison Bikes for the long-time collaboration. And I want to thank my staff colleagues, such as Renee Calloway and Colin Hayes, for putting all this together. But most importantly, I want to thank each one of you for the support and the collaboration in building a better transportation system, to make biking much more safer and accessible in our community. Over the last few years, we have been working together and really start to prioritize more on pedestrians and other vulnerable safety users like bicyclists. And we made a lot of progress together. As the mayor mentioned, we were able to finish many major projects. For example, right in front of us here on Wilson Street, last year we completed building a prototype bike lane, which started from Broome Street and eventually goes all the way to the so-called Hairball intersection. So we want to make this downtown important piece of the connection a lot better. On the west side, Hammersley Road, we started to build the first phase of a shared use path over there. And on the east side, as you all know, the Atwood Avenue, which is part of the very popular Lake Loop for everyone. Definitely, I would say that's a wonderful transformation for that piece of Atwood Avenue. So if you haven't used it, definitely check it out. Much better accommodation for pedestrians, bicyclists. And we have many more projects planned and in works to be started. For example, that you all know that we got a federal grant to build an important connection to the east side over Highway 30 at Autumn Ridge Park. So that's going to be an important connection connecting the whole neighborhood. And we are also getting another federal grant to build another connection along Rusk Avenue on the south side. We are also in the design process for another federal funded project on West Town Path. That's kind of right behind the West Town Mall area. So hopefully, to that area, we'll have a much safer and better connections for bikes. The mayor also mentioned that our Safe Streets program. So hopefully many of you have seen the news release we put out for this year's projects. So you can see we have a long list of projects, really prioritizing safety of pedestrians and bicyclists, and also fix some of the gaps in our network. So that's going to be a continuous effort. And on top of that, we'll start implementing our $6.3 million federal grant project from the Safe Streets for All program. So those has numerous projects with a heavy focus on equity. And so those will start hopefully sometime soon this year as well. We made a lot of progress together, and we definitely are being noticed. We hear a lot of feedbacks from the community, and we're also being recognized by the industry. So very recently, that so there is a very important report and a ranking was done by Smart Growth America. It's called Dangerous by Design. So very recently, Madison was ranked number 2 among the 101 largest metro areas in the country in terms of pedestrian safety. So that's a great achievement by all of us working together. And also a sneak preview, we're also getting a major industry award from the Institute of Transportation Engineers. So it's called the Transporting Achievement Award for our work on Vision Zero, which have a heavy focus on pedestrian and bicycle safety, as you all know. We achieve a lot together, but as Robbie mentioned, and the mayor mentioned, we still have a whole lot to do. Our work is far from done. The recent tragic death of one of our community members, Joseph, right on the east side, in March, that was very sad reminder that we need to do more, and we will do more. So thank you for coming, and we're looking forward for continued collaboration with all of you. With that, stay dry this afternoon and the whole of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang. We'll take questions if there are any, and then we're going to get on our bikes and ride around the Capitol. Any questions? All right, thank you. Let's saddle up and get going.